Welcome, my friends, to a new episode of Connect Your Speech. And in this episode, we're going to talk about another assimilation tendency. And we talked about assimilation before. We said that assimilation is about changing a sound in order to make pronunciation faster, easier, and more natural. And the tendency we're going to talk about today is the tendency of the sound z meeting the sound y. And when these two sounds come together, like when we have a word that ends with the sound z, meeting a word that starts with the sound y, when these two words meet together, what happens at that? We change the sound z into j. Now, let's first talk about the sound z. Well, the sound z is actually an alveolar sound. And when I say it is an alveolar sound, as I said before in the previous episodes, alveolar sounds come from this area, the back of your upper teeth. So try to say it, z, z, z. And you will see that your tongue goes directly to the back of your upper teeth. Now, also the sound z is a voiced sound. And when I say a voiced sound, it means that the vocal cords vibrate when you pronounce this sound. You can actually touch this area here and compare the sound z with the sound s. So look, s, and then try it now, z. You will feel the vibration. It is also a fricative sound. And as I said also in the previous episodes, fricative sounds, they happen when organs of speech come closer, 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 so they leave a very narrow passage for the air to come out. So listen carefully, listen carefully. Zzz, that's a fricative sound. Now, when this voiced alveolar fricative sound meets our approximant sound, and we said before that the yeah is an approximant sound. And we said that approximants are between fricatives and vowels. They're just in between. And we also said that the yeah is a palatal sound. It comes from the palate. And we also said that the yeah is a voice sound. And what happens when these two meet? The z sound becomes a j sound. Now, why does it become a j sound? Let's talk a bit about that. Now, the j sound is a voiced sound. So it is similar to the z sound in that part, in energy. It is similar to the z sound. And the j sound falls between the alveolar ridge and the palate. We call it a postalveolar sound. So it is between the alveolar ridge and the palate. Now, it appears in examples like, who's your? So look at, because when you say whose, it ends with a z sound, and your, it starts with a s sound. So it becomes, who's your dad? Ha ha ha. Who's your dad? Who's your dad? Right? See? Now, let's see an example of this. Let's listen to an American speaker.
Who's your children's doctor or dentist?
Who's your children's doctor? Who's your children's? Ah. See? So that's a kind of an assimilation happening now. Right. Now, let me give you another example. Think about does your. And again, when you think about the word does, it ends with a z sound. And your, it starts with a yes sound. So in connected speech, you will say something like, does your dad know that? Does your dad? And instead of does your, it becomes does your. But of course, that's only in connected speech. Now let's see an example, and let's listen to a British speaker.
I got this question on Twitter. How does your company allow you to show the design files and the work that you do for them?
How does your company? How does your company? Interesting. Now let's listen to an Australian speaker.
Does your partner step up and do what needs to be done to leave you feeling cared for and protected.
Does your partner? Does your partner? Does your partner? Wonderful. Now, let's move now to another example, which is was, your, very common. Was ends with a Z sound. Your starts with a yes sound. So you put them together and you might say, was your trip fine? Was your mom here? Was your mom here? Was your mom? Like, was your mom here? Now let's listen to some examples, and let's listen to an American speaker.
You went down to your gym, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was waiting there. He was your personal trainer.
He was your personal trainer. He was your personal trainer. Of course, when you slow down, it sounds really weird and unnatural. But in connected speech, it's amazing. Now let's listen to an example from the UK.
What was your big aha moment on the course where you're like, okay, wow, something's happening here. I'm stringing something together, where you notice something change?
So, what was your big aha moment on the course? What was your big aha moment? What was your big? Wonderful. Finally, let's listen to an Australian speaker.
I didn't realise it was your birthday today. I'm sorry, so happy birthday. That's absolutely brilliant.
I didn't realize it was your birthday. It was your birthday. It was your birthday. Lovely. Now, let's think about the verb praise. And the verb praise ends with a Z sound. And of course, when you say praise your or praise you, it would be followed now by a yes sound, and the tendency would happen. So let's see some examples. An American speaker.
Praise your dog enthusiastically as they work with it.
Praise your dog enthusiastically. Praise your dog. Praise your dog. Instead of praise your dog. Praise your dog. Lovely. Now, let's listen to a British speaker.
Like in America, they praise you, don't they? They lift you up.
They praise you, don't they? They praise you, don't they? So, my friends, so this was another strong tendency related to assimilation, my friends. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I was your presenter. Did I say I was your presenter? Oh yes, because that's another example of the tendency. Bye-bye.